What's up, guys? One of the ecom brand owners that I've been working with actually just hit his first 1K day recently, and I'm super happy about it. Super congratulations, bro, if you're watching this. And yeah, today I want to break down exactly how we got there and the things that held him back before we started working together. And these are actually super common mistakes amongst beginners or just people that are into ecom, have their super good product, actually, are passionate and treat this like a real business, but it's just still not working out. And this is something which I notice everyone doing wrong and everyone recommending wrong, so that's why I'm making this video. So the first mistake, or the first thing that we actually did and change up, was the funnel versus offer topic. Now this is something which is directly related a lot to what you guys hear on YouTube nowadays, right? So you hear, oh, advertorial here, you hear listicle there, VSL funnel here, quiz funnel there, and they're throwing around these buzzwords and you have no clue where to start, how to write this. Then they're giving you some, like AI SOPs, and you're not going to be able to write it yourself, and that's pretty much it, right? And then you're left in the blank, and then you have no clue how to actually execute that. And then if you do it and it fails, you have no clue how to properly iterate it. And the reason why it fails for you is because you don't have a good offer yet, right? So if there's something, right, which you have to double down on before you double down on funnels, is your offer. And so there's something called A/B testing, which is having two offers at the same time. Basically, a Shopify app, for example, A/B convert splits up your traffic on two different product pages. And so 50%, random 50% of your traffic sees the first offer, and the other random 50% sees the other offer. And so the advantage of that is you can actually see in real time, with the same traffic quality, on the same day in real time, like which offer actually makes you more money per visitor, right? So higher conversion rate and AOV combined, okay? So the reason why this is so much more powerful than a different funnel structure, right, is because when you start with a funnel, the exact opposite is going to happen of what you hope it's going to happen, right? So when you launch a funnel, let's say you launch a super long funnel like an advertorial pre-sales page, and then you have a sales page, order page, OTOs, blah, 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 right? Let's say you have that funnel, right? Let's say then you test a CBO with $50 or $100 a day. Well, what's going to happen is, obviously, since you have no clue about your avatar yet, since you haven't iterated your ads yet, you're probably going to get CPCs of like $1.50 or max $1. And if you're spending $100 a day with $1 CPCs on day one, that's actually solid, really solid metrics, then you have, do the math, 100 link clicks, 100 people coming to your store. Now, if you have a complex long funnel, right, that you didn't even write yourself, or it's the first one that you wrote yourself, then what's going to happen is, and this is really important that you understand this, it's probably going to have a CTR each funnel step of like what, probably 70, 60, 50%. So most people are actually going to be disqualified. They're going to drop off. So it's actually going to be around 10 people that even see the offer in the first place. And believe me when I tell you guys, there's nothing more important or higher leverage on your store than your offer. Nothing. There's literally nothing that you can do on your store which is going to make a bigger difference than having a different offer, a different pricing, whatever, right? Really important. So a longer funnel does the exact opposite of increasing conversion rate. It massively decreases conversion rate if you haven't validated your offer first. So the right time to get into a super complex long funnel thing is actually when you're already making 1, 2, 3K a day. Okay, that is the right time. Before that, it's not going to make any sense, because the few couple people that you do get in your store are just going to be disqualified by your funnel, and they're not going to see it. A funnel is friction. Friction means on purpose disqualifying people so you attract higher quality people, but you don't add friction when you struggle with volume. And this is really important, you guys, and this is something which no one in ecom really talks about. You don't add extra steps when you're struggling with volume to getting people to buy the product in the first place, to getting this product market fit, to getting traffic to see the offer, to validate the offers at the same time, right? You don't do that. You don't add an extra step. You don't add friction, and this is exactly what you do if you add an advertorial and another pre-sales page and a sales page and an order page and 5 OTOs. Like, you have to understand that your front end offer is everything, okay? Below a certain scale, it's everything, and everything else is just going to be a waste of your time and not going to have the effect that everyone seems to promise you. And this is exactly the first thing that he did wrong, the brand owner that I've actually been working with, because he was running ads to a listicle here and then an advertorial there, and then we just just killed everything, sent it all to a product page, right? And would have thought, right? It performed better, okay? So don't let anyone lie to you guys. If you're not a professional copywriter, if you're not, if you don't have these skills of writing good copy, of making good ad creatives, of knowing what a good offer is in the first place, then add in one more thing that could go wrong is not the right move, okay? Believe me there. Second thing that he did massively wrong is actually the creative testing volume, because when I looked into his ad account, I saw that he was actually testing a lot of ads, and this might apply to you too. There were a bunch of different ads in his ad account, but they were all of them were completely different concepts. He did not have any iteration. So there's something called the 80-20 rule, right? The 80-20 rule means that within every creative test that you make, 80% of it should go to iterating proven concepts, making stuff that works even better, basically refreshing old winners, all that stuff that you already know, all the variables that you know already work, making those better and improving upon those. That's what he did wrong, because he focused only on these, what should have actually been just 20%, which is new concepts. All of his creatives were completely different concepts, and he already was having some that were traction. But guess what? He couldn't scale because he was overall so unprofitable, because all these brand new concepts that took over 80% of his ad spend, right, were obviously eating up all his profits and making him operate at a great loss. And so this is what the problem was. The main problem of his creative tests was not the amount of creatives, not the volume itself. It was actually the type of ad that he was running. And so keep the 80-20 rule in mind from now on. When you're testing a creative, or when you're testing, let's say you launch a creative testing campaign, what you should do is 80% of it should only be already taking the stuff that works and making it better. Only 20%. And these little 20%, to be fair, like, we don't say 100, 0, only iterations. Of course, that would make you the most profitable right now. However, these little 20% of work is what's going to keep you alive in the long run, because every once in a while in these 20%, something hits massively better than the current one. And then you once again get that into the iteration 80%. However, as of right now, if you have one winning ad, if you had a winning ad in the past, whatever, something worked a little bit, just iterate on that, which means look at all the numbers, you break everything down into the smallest thing that then after, like, it can't be broken down deeper anymore. So specifically, it looks like this, right? ROAS, you go deeper into CPC or conversion rate, what actually went wrong, right? If it was the conversion rate, then, well, was it the was it the add to cart rate? No, yes. Was it the initiate checkout rate? Was it the conversion rate? Blah, blah, blah. And then how long were the ads? All these things that basically, add in a conversion rate points. Second thing is, if it was the CPC that went wrong, right, then when you look at, okay, was it the CTR or the CPM, right? If it was the CPM, how many avatars did you test? How big was your total addressable market? How many competitors did you have? If it was your CTR, was it your hook rate, your hold rate, your pitch rate, your 25% video views, or 50% video views, your 75% video views? You can break down so many metrics that you know exactly why your ads failed. And I dislike the approach, and it's being preached on YouTube right now as we speak, that you should just launch a product a day with some ripped creatives and a CBO, do no work at all, no thought process at all, right? Rip everything, and if it doesn't work overall, or it's not breaking even, you just kill it after a couple of days. That is the worst approach, because you learn absolutely nothing from a test like that. Like, you learn zero from a creative test like that, for a product test like that. And even if it hits and you do get lucky after the 20th, no one guarantees you that for the next 1,000 product tests, you're going to find another winner like this. Okay. And this is reality for a lot of dropshippers right now. You're just putting all of your bets on luck. You learn absolutely nothing, right? And you should always pick a product and stay with a product until it works, because everything can be made work. Think about it this way, right? If a huge brand is sitting on a stock of tens of thousands of pieces of a product, when things get hard, right, do they say, oh, I'm gonna just switch my product? No, right? And they're struggling with a lot bigger issues than you're struggling with right now. And so you can't just switch your business, your avatar. That's why if you've been doing ecom for more than 6 months, right? And I don't care how bad your first product was, if you'd still be doing your first product, if you're still be trying to make that work, to this day without breaks in between, consistently, high volume, a lot of learning, fast feedback loops, then you would have made it work by now, 100%. And so this is the most important part, the second thing that he actually did wrong, right? When we started working together. And the third thing, which I really want to talk about here and outline, is the media buying. Because when we started actually working together, he was kind of trying to trick Facebook like it was 2014, right? He was, really just thinking about, CBOs and ABOs and Advantage Plus and, should I do this here? Should I do that there? And maybe a lookalike here, and all these different things which do not matter at all. Media buying does not matter. A media buyer is probably buying out a lower leverage activity or job than a video editor. It does not require any skill anymore. The only skill that media buying really requires, media buying gets really interesting at a super high scale when it comes to intraday scaling, when it comes to downscaling, right? When it comes to communicating with your creative strategist, making him make the right decisions. That is what media buyers go for. But you do not try to trick Facebook. Trust me, that is not worth it, because it just does not work. And we're actually moving away from targeting overall. We're moving away, and actually it is already like that all of the magic, everything, all the targeting already happens on the creative level. So whatever you do, it all happens on the ad level, on the creative level. Nothing really is being decided, just picked. No audience is being picked on the ads level. Every ad account I look at right now runs completely broad. It doesn't matter what niche, what country, right? And it's ridiculous to try to trick Facebook with, playing around with all the media buying hacks and strategies that worked 10 years ago. It's just not like that anymore. It's all on the creatives. And we're going back to these two topics here. These have to be validated. You have to have a good creative volume with the 80-20 rule and actually have a validated offer. And then your media buying does not matter at all, because if you do have good creative, it's going to work with a CBO. It's going to work with a CBO with a minimum spend. It's going to work with an ABO. It's going to work with an ABO. It's going to work with an Advantage Plus. It's going to work with every single campaign type that you can possibly imagine. It's going to work. And so that's what you really need to keep in mind, right? It doesn't matter what ad account you have, what your pixel, how old your pixel is. These things just do not work anymore. You've got to forget about media buying. Okay, media buying is not a powerful, hard skill. Like I said before, the biggest skill, the most important, valuable asset that a media buyer can have is a good communication, right? A good, basically being a member of a team, communicating with the creative strategist, communicating with the editors and the graphic designers, and being sort of the bridge between everything, being kind of the manager, but having this overview. That's why it makes sense if you're a founder to outsource basically video editing, graphic design, and creative strategy first, because then you upload the ads, run the campaigns, and you actually see everything as the media buyer. After some time, you're going to hire that too, because you're not going to have time to upload all these ads into your ad account and publish them and scale the budgets, especially if you're running ads on multiple ad channels and ad platforms. It's going to be super difficult. But yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. That was pretty much it for this video. I hope you could learn a thing or two. Thank you so much for giving me your most important asset, which is your attention. Thank you so much, and I wish you a beautiful day.